Once upon a time, there was a woman named Elena. She was a successful businesswoman who had everything she ever wanted except for one thing: love. Despite her many accomplishments, she was lonely and longed for someone to share her life with. One day, Elena attended a charity gala in the heart of the city. She was wearing a stunning red gown, and her hair was styled elegantly. As she mingled with the other guests, her eyes were drawn to a tall, dark-haired man across the room. He was dressed in a sharp black suit and tie, and his piercing blue eyes caught her attention. Elena was too shy to approach him, but to her surprise, he made his way towards her. His name was David, and he was a successful lawyer. They began to talk, and Elena was immediately captivated by his intelligence, wit, and charm. As the night went on, they danced to slow music, and Elena found herself falling deeper and deeper in love with him. They talked for hours, and as the night came to an end, David asked Elena out on a date. Their first date was magical. They met at a cozy Italian restaurant with candles flickering on the tables. Over a bottle of red wine, they laughed and talked as if they had known each other for years. The evening was so romantic that Elena felt like she was in a fairy tale. As their relationship progressed, they spent more and more time together. They would take long walks in the park, go to the movies, and explore the city together. Elena felt like she had finally found her soulmate. One day, David surprised Elena with a trip to Paris. They spent a week in the city of love, visiting the Eiffel Tower, strolling through the romantic streets, and eating croissants in cozy cafes. It was during this trip that David professed his love to Elena. He told her that she was the missing piece in his life and that he could not imagine living without her. Elena was overjoyed, and she knew that she felt the same way about him. After their trip, David took Elena to a beautiful park in the city. They sat on a blanket under a tree, and he pulled out a small box. He opened it, revealing a stunning diamond ring. "Elena, will you marry me?" he asked, his eyes filled with love. Elena was overwhelmed with emotion. She said yes, and they embraced in a passionate kiss. Their wedding day was a dream come true. Elena wore a beautiful white dress, and David looked handsome in his black tuxedo. They exchanged vows in front of their friends and family, promising to love each other forever. As the years passed, their love only grew stronger. They had 2 children, and their family was filled with love and laughter. Elena's life was finally complete, and she knew that she had found the love of her life in David. But as fate would have it, David fell ill suddenly and was diagnosed with a rare and aggressive form of cancer. Elena was devastated. She had never imagined a life without David by her side. She was determined to fight with him every step of the way, but despite the best medical care, David's condition continued to worsen. As Elena watched David's condition deteriorate, she felt a range of emotions. She was heartbroken, sad, and angry that such a kind and loving man could be taken away so soon. But she was also grateful for the time they had together, and she cherished every moment they spent as a family. One day, as Elena was holding David's hand in the hospital room, he whispered something to her that she could barely hear. It was a declaration of love, and as she looked into his eyes, she knew that he was saying goodbye. A few moments later, he took his last breath, and Elena was left alone, heartbroken and devastated. For weeks, she felt lost and unsure of how to move on. She had never experienced such a profound loss before, and it felt like a part of her was missing. But as time went on, Elena began to find comfort in her memories of David. She found that she could still feel his love even though he was no longer with her. She knew that he would want her to be happy and to continue to live her life to the fullest. Elena decided to honor David's memory by starting a charity in his name. She poured all of her energy and passion into the organization, and it became a huge success, helping many people in need. As she worked tirelessly to help others, Elena realized that she was still capable of love. She knew that David would want her to find happiness again, and she opened her heart to the possibility of a new relationship. Several years later, Elena met a man named John. He was kind, caring, and understanding, and they shared a deep connection. Although she was hesitant at first, Elena eventually allowed herself to fall in love with him. Together, they built a life filled with love, laughter, and happiness. Elena never forgot David, but she knew that he would be proud of the life she had built and the love that she had found once again.